Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we will discuss why when the woman earns more money than the man, the divorce happens. We will see the opinion given by a man on this matter, as a woman says that women are victims when she earns more money than the man. Before we begin, we want to thank you for being here. Your support means a lot to us. If you like what you see, we invite you to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. We would also love to hear your experiences in the comments. Your participation helps us grow and reach more people. Thank you for being part of our project. Let's get started.
Women who make more than their husbands in heterosexual marriages are up to 3 times more likely to get cheated on. Another recent study found that men's stress levels rise if their female partners earn more than 40% of the household income. Researchers find that promotions to top jobs dramatically increase a woman's likelihood of divorce, a pattern that does not hold true for men. In a series of studies published in the American Psychological Association's Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, men felt bad when their wives beat them at something. But they also subconsciously lost confidence when their wives got any wins, even when they weren't in direct competition with their partners. And this was true across all kinds of achievements, personal, social, and intellectual. Men felt worse about themselves when their partner succeeded compared to when she failed. And when their partner succeeded at something they failed at, their self-esteem took an even bigger hit, and in turn, their relationship satisfaction diminished. There's quite a bit of this data that seems to suggest that for ambitious women, personal success comes with a higher likelihood of relationship stress. And as long as we live in a world in which women's ambition often comes with these steep social and personal penalties, it's likely that these gender gaps will persist. In fact, there's quite a bit of research that shows women often change their behaviors in interactions that involve men to avoid this kind of backlash. For more on this kind of research and data, visit tooambitious.com to subscribe.
If women understood that it's not about them earning more money than us that bothers, but the attitude that comes with it, the woman will start complaining about the standard of living she has with you, especially losing respect for her man. Now that the man earns less, he will also be assigned more tasks, especially household chores. Another thing is that they no longer see you with admiration. Usually, they rub it in your face that they earn more than you. Another thing is the handling of that money. When the woman earns little money, the man takes care of most of the major expenses, and the woman handles some minor expenses, perhaps something for buying food, but all outings, gifts, and additional expenses always fall on the man. A woman with money does not treat the man as well as the man takes care of the woman without money. Another thing is the resentment they hold against you. That's why you see that divorce almost always ends. Many cheat on you, something this woman didn't mention. Everything she does seems insignificant or minimal. Nothing is received with pleasure, and woe to you if you spend her money on something you like because you know she'll have a big fight with you when she checks her account. Then the man understands that he shouldn't tolerate this woman and prefers to leave the relationship because he can't stand her anymore.
I'm a little confused. The money you make is your money, but the money I make is our money.
You're not confused, Greg. You nailed it.
Because a lot of people say, oh, when women earn more than men, they're more likely to divorce them and more likely to end it. But the reality is the reason why they're more likely to end it is because men take their foot off the pedal when the woman is financially stable. But that same man will meet a woman who's unemployed and sits at home and watches TikTok all day and give her an allowance and support her and take her dinner and do all of these things. But that woman who's hustling and working hard, he doesn't even think to grab her lunch. So that's why she gets resentful that I'm working hard, and because I'm working hard, you're investing less. When really we should be rewarding the hard work because they still like to be looked after. It's not a financial thing.
Did you know that if the workplace is predominantly women, it becomes more toxic? Usually, even among women, they prefer having a male boss over a female boss because they are unbearable. Any man who has had a female boss can confirm this. You know what they all have in common? They are single women. That's why you rarely see women being CEOs of top companies. Now imagine all of that, but at home. When a man gets married, everything he contributes to the relationship is tangible. Paying bills, the mortgage, household expenses, vehicles, taking care of maintenance, food, children, and their upbringing, as well as his wife, including medical bills. That's why the state penalizes men so much in divorce. But what do most women bring to the table? Their presence and femininity. That's the story they tell us. But when the woman earns more money, They believe she wants to buy into the story that the man brings to the table his presence and masculinity. Of course, she'll push you out of her life. That's why every man who supports a woman when she's young, paying for her college education, ends up seeing her with a good job, earning more money, and with a new husband because you're no longer enough for her. She deserves to be with a man at her level, but women will never tell you that. That's why you always see her being the boss with money, but ending up alone and bitter with a pet cat.
Are you intimidated by a woman who makes more money than you?
You know, this is a common question that women will often ask, and they really struggle to hear the answer, because the honest answer is, no, we're not. Not in the least. The truth of the matter is, how much money a woman makes or what her wealth status is doesn't even make the top 10 of what men are looking for from women or in a relationship. For women, on the other hand, it's number one on the hit parade. Always has been, always will be. And the evidence for that is all over the place. What's the first thing every woman tries to find out the minute a man shows interest in her, or she does in him? That's right. Does he have a job? What is that job? And how much money he's making. It's why you hear virtually every single woman say, I expect him to be a provider. I'm not going to take care of a man. I'm not going to date a man who doesn't have a job. And of course, the infamous, he needs to be making six figures. And it's why the number one reason women file for divorce is because the husband has lost his job, even when it was through no fault of his own. Far and away, that's the biggest reason. It is all about the money for them, which is why they struggle so much with understanding why men don't think that way. We aren't that shallow. We care about who you are, not how much money you make. A woman could literally have not a single penny to her name, not be working, have no financial ability whatsoever. But if she brings to the man what he's looking for, the biggest ones being peace, respect, and acknowledgement, he'll pursue her to the ends of the earth. Now contrast that with what women say when you ask them, well, what do you bring to the table? They almost always mention something about their career, their income, or that they own a house or some other thing of value. Because again, it is all about the Benjamins, which is why we get questions like this. And it's why they ask it over and over again, because women struggle to compute how that can be. They expect men to think like they do. Well, men don't. Men think completely different than women. And there is nothing wrong with that. So as I said, the answer to your question is, no, we're not intimidated in the least. We couldn't care less how much money you make. It's why there are millionaires who will date waitresses, and a host of other examples I could give you. But tell me, when was the last time you saw a woman date down?
This man deserves a beer. I totally agree with him. That's why I always say, a man gets married for love, a woman for a lifestyle. That's why some men are invisible to women, because they don't have Benjamin as a bodyguard. Love with women will always be conditioned by your economic status. That's why men hate modern dating. It feels like a job interview where they're being evaluated for a position without pay. They ask where you work, what assets you have, how much money you make, and depending on the amount, they decide whether they'll keep dating you or not. That's why you see videos of gold diggers spotting a man with a high-end car. These women even want to go to a hotel with that man without even knowing him. That's why when a man loses his job, gets sick, or has a financial problem, the woman is the first to abandon ship. Usually, she's the one who always twists the knife to finish you off. That's why men are always advised not to tell their problems to women. Kevin Samuels said it. If you start showing weakness to your woman, she'll lose respect for you and start preparing the exit plan to take something before everything is lost.
Women make more money than men. Don't shoot the messenger. The news circulating about women owning more houses than men, it just validated my entire theory. I do think that there are more men that are millionaires and billionaires, but right underneath that, I think women are dominating. And I don't bring this up because I want to be like this whole competition thing or like men against women. No, it's just been an observation that I have noticed. Just a lot more women showing that they make more money, whether it is in business or even just a career, travel, showcasing their houses, showcasing so much more. Like, I just seen it. It just looks like men are kind of being left behind a little bit. I've even seen a handful of women saying that they retired their husband. I don't tend to be with a guy that, makes less than me, but I just think about society as a whole, how it went from like lady boss, to like let me be in my soft girl era, but I still want to make money though. Like either way, women are still making so much money. But like, can you imagine a whole world full of like the woman being like the breadwinner, even if it's like not like manual labor, it's like maybe social media stuff or their career or something like. I just find that whole thing interesting. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have you noticed the same thing? And like, what do you feel about like women retiring their husband? And like, I don't know, I just feel like it's interesting.
It's a horrible world, but let me tell you something. When they talk about women going to college more than men, it's true, but does anyone tell you what careers they study? They dominate in office areas or nursing, comfortable jobs. But technology, engineering, even law are still mostly dominated by men. Apart from scientific careers, many more still dominated by men. That's why with the rise of artificial intelligence, many are losing their jobs. Another thing is that most women are number one in student debt, as well as credit card debt. Here it seems interesting to me, who wants to be the person with all the luxuries based on debt, or the man with a normal life but who doesn't owe anyone, because even with all their career, the salaries between men and women are almost at the same levels, only having technical areas. The other thing is that everyone wants a high-value man, or provider, among the top 20%. The problem is that there aren't enough men for everyone, which is why we see so many women hitting the wall at 30, who even with their money and great career, are more alone than the sun at noon on a cloudless day. It's okay for her to pay or retire her husband. It's time for our Drizzle to fall.
What do you think happens in a relationship when the woman out-earns what the man earns?
It's going to end in divorce more than likely. So there's a study conducted by American psychologists, and they found that if a woman out-earned her husband, it was 50% likely that the marriage would end in divorce.
So what's the solution there?
I don't think there is a solution. I think that people should probably lower their expectations in terms of understanding that, okay, well, this person is the breadwinner. It's how the situation is. It probably comes down to being able to met out responsibilities on the part of both sexes. And sometimes the man stays home and takes care of children, and sometimes the woman goes out there and earns the money. And so it probably is contingent on both partners understanding that this is the role that is played.
Okay, that makes sense.
In short, the man becomes a nice guy. And we all know that these men are the most abused and deceived because these men bore them. A woman who earns more money than the man usually loses admiration for that man. That's why it ends in divorce, because the power dynamic changes. It's no longer the man who leads the way. It's the woman. If she doesn't even know where she wants to go out to eat, imagine having to lead the household. Furthermore, check out the irony of the situation. When the woman is at home and the man works, the woman always says she takes care of the children, takes care of the home, and of that man. So, her cleaning and doing all the household chores have the same value as what the man offers economically. But when it's the other way around, that man is useless, a freeloader, a parasite feeding off that woman, a man of low value to society because he doesn't earn money. What he does in terms of cleaning and taking care of the children doesn't count because it's not tangible. Everything the man contributes that isn't tangible doesn't count for the woman. It only has value when the woman does it. It's a tremendous double standard, brothers. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. What do you think are the reasons why a marriage ends when the woman earns more money? Have you ever been in a relationship where the woman earns more? How did it go? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from the wall.